I've been a Catholic priest. Yes, I've made my confession already. And let me stay as such. I stand up in class, the Executive Secretary, the Right Honourable Speaker, other directors, the Parliamentary Service, of course, Coordinator Democracy Card, who, Nana, you should be visible. You stepped into my shoes as coordinator. I know you are still coordinating. Chief Executive of Premier of Ghana, a legend and eminent person. That's how I describe them, eminent persons. Don't forget my, I can't help but always mention your name, the Rock of Gibraltar. Your Mensa, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure to warmly welcome you to Right Honourable Speaker's conference room this afternoon for this all-important ceremony. Yes, we are here to present the trophy, the Democracy Cup trophy, the second edition of the Democracy Cup. We are here to present the trophy, first of all, to the Right Honourable Speaker, the man who conceived this dream. Very interesting. Mr. Speaker, do you play football at all? Your passion for football, it's so amazing. So amazing. But I believe it's a good thing. You know, this is the second edition of the Democracy Cup. The significance of the Democracy Cup. Why Democracy Cup? When we talk of democracy, I believe all of us immediately tend to focus on representative government. Government that represents the people, represents the interests of the people. But here we're talking about Democracy Cup. Democracy is supposed to bring people together. People with differences in orientations, background, beliefs, name them. Democracy brings all of them to the table. They air their views, but at the end of the day, the collective wisdom and the many and varied views aired wins the day, because it promotes the collective interest of all. There could be arguments, there could be differences, with passions, inflamed and all that. But at the end of the day, a decision is made, and that decision is supposed to be in the interest of all. So, irrespective of the differences, irrespective of the arguments, irrespective of the quarrels, one view or many views put together, they win the day. Democracy Cup. Football, we all know, is an interesting game that brings a lot of people together, people with differences, and it generates a lot of competition. But at the end of the day, there's a winner. And once that person wins the game, all are supposed to support. Even if you will not wholly support, at least you recognize the fact that he has won. More so if it is a national competition. If Ghana is playing against any other country, irrespective of our difference, I may belong to Olympics, Accra Sofo, Marcia Santi Kotoko, Tamale United, Kazakhes, irrespective of the team you belong to. When Ghana is playing, all of us rally behind Ghana, and we present a united front. There is this concept that drove Mr. Speaker into this arena. He said, let us organize something like this, so that we bring ourselves together. irrespective of which side of the political divide we belong. So that at the end of the day, we will all leverage on football to promote national unity, to pull us together, and to foster national cohesion. This is the whole philosophy behind this exercise. And I believe it is a good one. It's a good one because you recall the day we played the football, the first edition of the Democracy Cup, it was interesting, it was wonderful. And for the first time in our lives as a nation, the Speaker was able to get the key state functionary, except for the President who was not within the jurisdiction, but he was ably represented by the Minister of State. We got the Chief Justice, we got the Electoral Commissioner, we got all the other functionaries, including Mr. Speaker himself, on the football pitch. Look at the beauty that was resonated. Look at the beauty of the whole thing. It brought us together and it presented a common front. And I dare say that that unique exercise, both physically and spiritually, had impact on the very peaceful elections we had. And at the end of the day, Ghana won. This is what the Democracy Club is all about. And it's not a 9-day wonder. It is a program that has been institutionalized in the national calendar as an event that we would always observe. Because it's bringing together all the arms or organs of state, the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and indeed the other constitutional bodies. The trophy is being presented to Right Honorable Speaker, the one who conceived the idea. This is where we are starting from. So we are starting with Mr. Speaker to more or less commission us to be able to go out there and present the trophy to all the other state functionaries, the heads of the state, the other organs of the state, be it the executive, the judiciary, the independent constitutional bodies, and indeed the armed forces and the police service headed by the Chief of Defense Staff and the IGP, who in turn present the trophies to them on the instructions of Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker himself will lead the process to present the trophy to His Excellency the President, as he did last year. So the lineup of events after the commissioning would unfold one after each other. The march was to be played. Initially we were looking at 29th August, but we are all aware that 29th August is the day that we are burying our late member of Parliament to transition. So the Speaker, in his wisdom, is liaising with His Excellency the President to fix an appropriate date that can accommodate all of us, so that we can have space to mourn our departed honorable member of Parliament. We cannot help on this occasion but to recognize gestures from eminent persons and companies in Ghana. And here I mention in particular the executive chairperson and leader of KGL group of companies, who are titled, in fact they are sponsoring, they are title sponsors, and they've done so well to us. We use this opportunity to extend invitation to other well-meaning individuals and companies to extend support for this noble, event. Of course, let me also indicate, whilst I draw the curtains on my remarks, that we are not just focusing on this symbolic, this ceremony of playing a football match. We are also looking at establishing structures and putting in place processes across the 275 constituencies to train, instructors to be able to handle our young ones as talents are identified in all these constituencies, so that we can put in place a system that we can grow and nurture to feed into the national, team as we look forward into the future with confidence and hope. I want to thank all of you for coming. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this cherished space.
Thank you very much. I think we can do better. So for those of you who don't know, the Right Honorable, I think Clark wants to know whether he's a footballer or he was a footballer. Oh. Fortunately, Parliament TV caught up with him not too long ago during one of his training exercises. And he doesn't want us to show it on the channel, but we'll try and give you pockets of that before the main event itself. So you can be assured. He played as the top scorer in Nadoli Kalio constituency 7 consecutive terms. Nobody has done that. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason we're here is to have this presentation done, and we want to invite at this point Capitano. Okay, so I'll hand over to you, Henry.
Okay, so our legends will help us with the presentation. John Mensah, George Alassane, Amankwameku will present the trophy to the Right Honourable Speaker. Clark, please join them. So the legends are presenting the trophy to the Right Honourable Speaker, joined by the clerk to Parliament. Then also we can see the CEO of Primeval Media with them. So this is the trophy that the two teams will be fighting for, as regards the second edition of the Democracy Cup 2025. Demonstrate, yes. Thank you so much. Please take your seats, legends. The Right Honourable Speaker can also take his seat. But aside the records and the fact that he was the top scorer on 7 occasions and all of that, he also loves to project and promote women's football. It's rather unfortunate that at the end of the season last year, his club got demoted from the Premier League to the second tier. But they have been very, very good in recent years, playing in the various competitions organized by the Ghana Football Association. And I am talking about Sunshining Ladies, a very prominent squad or side in the annals of women's football. So, Mr. Speaker, somewhere last year, 3 of your boys actually came to me in Kumasi and said that was the time that the team was preparing to play in the playoffs in search of qualification to the Premier League. Then I said, oh, but the club belongs to the Speaker. You don't have a problem. Just go. Just go and play. Oh, they said, no. We want to ensure that the right things are done. So I think they wanted to understand some of the regulations in the playoffs and all of that, which I walked them through, and they were very grateful for that gesture. And so from that day, I kept a close eye on the happenings in the playoffs. And one morning, one of the gentlemen called and said, "Mr. Santi, we have qualified. We play in the Premier League." I said, "Hallelujah." So, Mr. Speaker, at this point, once you have actually demonstrated what is going to happen on the day, it is my singular honor, ladies and gentlemen, as we call on the Speaker to give us his acceptance speech. Please, let's put our hands together.
Good afternoon to you all, and let me add my voice in welcoming you to the Parliament of Ghana, particularly the conference room of the Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana.
No transfer fee.
A service to Ghana.
Yes.
I hope you've been warmly welcome, and you've been given the traditional water. I saw the place like it's a church, and I was wondering why, because football, we want to be excited. It's a passionate thing that, there must be joy, There might be some excitement, but when I came in, it was like you've gone to the church to pray. And by being a Catholic, when you go in to pray, most of the time you have to take Eucharist, and you are not supposed to eat about an hour before the Eucharist. I don't know whether that is what has happened here. So, the place was looking so quiet and serene, and like the Blessed Virgin Mary was leading. So please, at least from primary school, we're all taught that clapping is an exercise. I don't know, these your primary schools these days, you call them basic schools, so there's a difference. But we were taught rather from primary one, clap, clap, clap together, clap, clap again. Clapping is an exercise, clap, clap again. Jump, jump, jump together, jump, jump again. Jumping is an exercise, jump, jump again. That keeps you awake and your mind ready to receive the knowledge that will be imparted to you. I think we have that in sports, and particularly football. And that is why even before the matches start, you see some exercise being taken before you go in. And so I want to...
Hallelujah, glory to my Lord. 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 Hallelujah, Shira, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Shira,
Good, good.
Administration. I think we are known as Ghana whenever we represent in competitions. that we have a song that every, even the other countries, they know how to sing. Adum, Adum,
Adum ya menya, Adum na mitiasi, Emuna meke kamino, Emuna midema, Adum, Adum, Adum ya menya, Adum na mitiasi, Emuna meke kamino.
Yes. What do they refer to him as? He has amply demonstrated why they refer to him as Osofo. Thank you so much for keeping everybody awake and alert now. It's really a pleasure, and it's always a pleasure to have you with us, particularly our legends. We can assure you that we respect, we honor you. We may not be getting it right, because after all this service to Ghana and humanity, you should be comfortably retired. But unfortunately, we are yet to get there. And I hope and pray that with some of these initiatives, at least Ghanaians will come to understand why you are a special breed, and we should pay some emphasis in supporting not just you, but your whole family. This will motivate and incentivize many more Ghanaians to enter into that career. Because as we speak today, football is the #1 business in the world. We have it, but we don't know it. We may see it, but I don't think it sticks clearly in our minds. And so we, as your representatives, and I want to emphasize this, your representatives are trying to get you to get this understanding, not only in football, but also in democracy. That we work together as one people, representing one nation, and we have only one destiny. Whatever we do is for the betterment of all of us. We have decided to leverage the brand that you have made with the world on football to see how that could impact on the quality of our democracy in Ghana. Many people don't understand many people don't understand the democracy that we practice in Ghana. And therefore, instead of democracy being seen as an effective tool of uniting us and developing us, is being seen as rather a tool of division, hatred, and anarchy. The clerk in his presentation referred to the OGP, Open Governance Partnership. he talked about the Honorable Member of Parliament for Ho West, who is not only leading Parliament in this matter, but the kingpin behind His Excellency the President, for us to practice our governance in an open manner, for everybody to know that we are actually working in the interest of each and every one of you. That is what open governance partnership is about. It's a partnership. It's not just those who elect that are to govern. You, those who go to elect them, are also part of the governance. On our part in Parliament, we call it Open Governance Initiative. And that is why our governance in Parliament here is the most open in Africa. And this initiative is to open more of our doors for all of you to come in and contribute your quota. Ghana's democracy is different from what is practiced in the United Kingdom, and it's different from what is practiced in the United States. It's different from what is practiced in Switzerland. It's different from what is practiced in France and in other country. Very, very different. And even our learned friends and academia are still struggling with all of us to understand what it is. But there are key points that I want to make clear, and why this initiative is that important. In the UK, sovereignty is in Parliament. So they make and omit. They don't have written constitution. And when they talk about Parliament in the UK, they are not talking about House of Commons. They are talking about the House of Commons, the House of Lords, and the Crown. The three work together as Parliament. So they don't have this separation of powers concept. And as I said, the sovereignty of the country is in the hands of Parliament. In the US, no, it's not the same. They look at, one, the people, and two, the constitution. So they have a written constitution. But the members of Parliament depend on their mandate from the voters. That is where the power is. And so they have strict separation. President, this is your role. Parliament, this is where you are. And judiciary, this is where you enforce the constitution. Separate. Ghana, we have combined them. By combining them, we made sure that the sovereignty of the country remains with you, the people. It's not in Parliament. And so, for example, when they say Parliament should pass law, Parliament cannot pass any law that is not approved and accepted by you, the people. And so we have been criticized recently about failure to pass the spousal rights bill. And I was surprised, because we don't decree. Parliament, we don't decree laws, we pass them. We are not sovereign. We cannot on our own say that whether you like it or not, this is what we are going to do. And so we have to always discuss with the partners. And the key partners are the Ghanaians, the voters. And so when you go with anything and there's that much serious disagreement, You cannot come as a parliament and say, whether you agree or you don't agree, this is the law. No, that is not what our democracy stands for in Ghana. It could be done in the UK, where the UK's parliament is what? Sovereign. And they used to say, the only thing it could not do is to turn a woman into a man and vice versa. That must be made clear. So for our democracy in Ghana to succeed, we need the people, Ghanaians, to understand it, to accept it, and to be part and parcel of day-to-day governance of the country. One of the most effective tools to use to achieve this is what? The passion of the nation, which is football. Don't doubt my prowess in football. That one, if not my father who stopped me and asked me to focus on my books, that's where I would have been. And even today, I'm sure you look at some of my clips on social media, I can still swing the ball above my head. And almost every evening, before I go to take my bath, that is what I do to stretch my limbs. Because you know, on daily basis, I'm whole in here. I sit from morning till night. And at this age, I need to be stretching my limbs, or else the body will go to sleep. And so every evening, I try to exercise with my kids on our football prowess. And we are doing a bit of it. So please, no doubt, I love football. It's my passion. And I wished I had been a footballer. But here I am, a lawyer and a politician. So we decided to leverage on this your brand to foster democracy through football. Last year we had an exciting and a very memorable first edition. This year, following upon what happened last year, we launched successfully the second edition on Thursday, 24th July 2025. I was so proud of our team last year because we went to Washington and we won. Unfortunately, this my chief executives, they wanted to enjoy alone. So even though I was available, they were not invited. I was not invited to the party. But what is really spurring us on is the support we are having from the private sector. The private sector, particularly the companies and some public sector corporations, have been very, very, very supportive. But this year around, we've gone beyond just the support. We have a title sponsor, KGL Group Limited. And I want you to give them a loud clap, particularly to the executive chairman for accepting not only to sponsor this year, but for continuous years. We are extremely grateful. I want to assure him and the company that we'll do all it can to go beyond their expectation. We need you, the stars. And I can tell you that many places you go to, apart from the aged, and when you are talking about aged, we talk about 80 and above. From that and below, when you go anywhere and you introduce yourself that you are from Ghana, you are likely to have people around you mention names of footballers.
Oh, yes.
And so when I got to Libya in September 1983, and they asked of my name, and I mentioned, and they were struggling to pronounce it, and they said, which country? And I said, Ghana. It was footballers. They said, ah, do you know do you know George Alassane? Do you know Abedi Pele? I said, yes. He said, ah, George Alassane, he can run. You chased him, ah. They were complaining. You went and beat them, and we won the cup that year. And he was curving the balls in from, I think, the left. Yes, from the left. And they couldn't get him. Yes, top scorer. And when they introduced the young boy, Abedi Pele, and he was in the middle with dribbling skills, you know, he still stayed. As at today, I was in Dubai recently, and one gentleman, I didn't know he was from Egypt. And immediately I said I was Ghana. Ah! Another footballer name. And so the way football, and particularly our legends, are marketing the country is immeasurable. But we take it as usual, the Ghanaian attitude. I don't care. That is the Ghanaian attitude. And so I'm always proud to see you and for you accepting to be part of this initiative. We are looking at the long-term impact of this competition. We're not just looking at only sponsoring and getting our clubs to go out to play. In fact, together with Premida Limited, we are trying to see how we could go to Germany to get one of the key clubs there to also engage with us like we are doing with Washington. But more importantly, we're trying to catch them young. Catch them young. And so together with parliamentary leadership, we are getting all the members of parliament to buy into this so that we can reach out to their constituencies and reach out to the Ghana Education Service to get the teachers, the physical education teachers across the country, to equip them with the skills to unearth and identify football talents from the early age. Football is so technical now, not like our days, where if you miss the ball, don't miss the man. Where if the ball hits you, you get days for some time because the balls used to be heavy and you needed a lot of energy. Even though it's still a manly game, not much energy is needed now, but skills, tacts, techniques, flair, nimbleness. Those are the things that now show. And that's why very young, feline people are now, both men and women, are now leading in goal scoring and the rest. Well, you now don't need much energy. You need placement, which needs a lot of practice and skills to achieve. And so we want to go down to the basic level to start catching them young. And that will be your legacies as today's legends. They see here your names, and when they hear that you are coming, like last year, we managed to go with some of you to my constituency. Within a short time, the small investment I made there for an AstroTurf stadium. It's quite small, but now is the center of the game in the Upper West region. The numbers were great because of maintenance that I put it at the training college, the College of Education at Nadoli, so that they could handle it and maintain it. And so they are asked to charge a few fees to be able to do that. And so, in our own small ways, as we try to invest, and now we say the future of football is the women's football, that's what encouraged me to start the Sunshining Ladies, who learned the lesson. And as we always say, when you fail, we term it as first attempt in learning. That's FAIL, first attempt in learning. And when you fall and you are lying there, then you are falling. But immediately you fall and you get up, it's a tumble. You haven't fallen. And so we are back and we're preparing for the next champions. So you see us there again. It's quite an expensive venture, but it's not for the money. It's for one of the main objectives of life, happiness. The joy and happiness you get in this game is worth more than whatever money you get from any business. That's what it's all about. And so it's not just to make money, but just to get the joy and happiness of life. So as I received the trophy today, it's my duty, as we've been told, to reach out to the other partners. And together with the clerk and our partners here, we'll have to go to present this trophy to His Excellency the President, to my Lord the Chief Justice, to the heads of the security agencies, to the commissions. Definitely, I will be present at His Excellency's place. I may not be present at the other places, but we will get capable men and women to go and do so for and on our behalf. We want all partners in governance of this country to be part and parcel of this program. We want us to sit together to understand that what we do in politics is similar to what is done in football. As the former president of Liberia told me when I visited him at his home in Liberia, that football is a game. If we are playing and you see that a colleague by some distance had hit you down, you fall down, you get up, you don't go to fight him. If you go to do that, I will show you a yellow card. Depending on what it is, if it's serious, it's a red card. Buy your time, use your talents and skills. Next time you are also meeting, you knock him down. But the intention is not to injure him, but to let him know that what he did was wrong. That is not the game. And at the end of the day, whether you disagree with the referee or not, once the referee says, this is it, you accept. And it's like doing a case in the Supreme Court. Final judgment. You can only disagree with them, but you are bound by that decision. That is what we should be doing in politics. Because it's not your interest that you are pursuing, it's the interest of the whole nation, the common good. And we want to translate that for our people to understand and to stop all this violence, fighting, dirty language. People are insulting each other on air. I don't know where they got that from, because that is not traditional. That is not our culture. That is not a value in Ghana for youth to be insulting elders under the guise of party politics. The other key thing is for us to let them see And I started by emphasizing this, that the sovereignty of this nation is what? In the people. It's not parties. It's not parties like in the UK. It's the people. So you cannot always sacrifice the interests of the people for the interests of a party. Then you got it wrong. Ghana first. And when you say Ghana first, you are talking about the people of Ghana. That common good of Ghana first, not your party. And so when you get people coming out to talk the way they are talking, I get surprised. And sometimes political leaders, these are the people that the voters should identify and vote against never to be in leadership. That is very important, and we have to move together to share these ideas, learn together, and see how we can clean up the government. It's for good reason that CDD used to be called Center of Democracy and Development. Now is Center for Democratic Development. They want you to understand that the two are one and the same thing. We used to talk about majority rule. Now we are talking about leaving nobody behind. So it's not about majority nonsense. After all, the mob has never been right. True or false? Know what the issues are, and you have to take your decision and know where to put your vote. So don't be enslaved by parties, but by the national interest. Ghana is a unique country, and God made it so. It's God that put us at the center of the world. And I've started preaching that when Ghana is good, the world will be good, because everything in the world spins around Ghana. That's where the hope is. And all your GMT watches are measured from where? Ghana. And so please, what we're doing may look a very simple initiative, but it's grandeur. It's very important and key to the development of our nation. So we are proposing, subject to a confirmation of His Excellency the President, that by the 1st of September, I'll be leading the team to go and present the trophy to His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. We hope and pray that His Excellency will also find time on that day to come to the sports stadium. We are proposing the 5th of September to join us. It's a proposal we are making, so that we will start with the curtain raiser. Parliament will play a team of the judiciary. That's our partners. And for the executive, usually they are so dispersed that I don't think they can even form a team. I'm challenging them. The judiciary are always working together there. And I know they have a very strong service, the judicial service. And they work together powerfully. And with my strong men and women here, we are sure to give them a run for their money. So we will have the curtain raiser, and then there will be the local derby. Once again, to remind us of those days between Accra House of Oak and Great Olympics. That day. You know, that day used to be great. I'm not sure these days whether they are still great. That's why they were called Great Olympics. And those of us who are young enough are aware of how teams from Ghana used to go and beat teams in the United Kingdom. Today, if you go into our families, everybody is watching DSTV and they are watching Premier League. We are not now watching our own games, but we are making efforts to get that to aired on DSTV, our local matches. And therefore, we need to up our game. We need to come together to invest in making sure that the necessary environment for the stars to shine and show the way are put in place in this country. And so getting everybody on board will not only let us share the culture of democracy, but also up our game in football. And particularly, as he mentioned, even though my team dropped out from the Premier, at least we got 2 players that joined the Black Queens, even to the World Cup. And so we didn't lose. We really won a lot. At least 2 of our members had that experience. And this year around, my son's men's team have won to the Middle League, and they will also be showcasing themselves. And that is TF Exponential. They are representing the Upper West region this year. And so it's another good team. They came here to present the trophy to me. And it was a joy to see how happy these lads were. So we are extremely grateful that all of you find time to be here, to be part of this presentation of this year's Edition Cup to me. I pray and I'm fervently hoping that this year's edition would be as successful as last year's, and that through football we would get all Ghanaians to buy into the vision of improving upon our culture of democracy in this country. Africans are still looking up to Ghana. The black race know Ghana as the Mecca of the black race. And what many of you don't know is that this star called Black Star was placed here because the first in Europe. Those days it was Europe, not much was said of America. It's a Ghanaian. And that was one person, black man, professor, 1729 in Europe. And he was lecturing them from Axim. Anthony William Amo. It is that Black Star that the founder of this nation Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah got to read about from W.E.B. Du Bois and co. that in the independence struggle, they decided to use to be our star, the lone black star in Europe. This is the representative of Anthony William Amo on our flag, national flag. That is where it all started from. It's not because of independence. Because Liberia was there. 1921, when they started establishing Liberia, it's always a free country. They are also black. Ethiopia has never been colonized. The Italians attempted. They could only last 6 months before they had to run away. And they were there, independent. Sudan was there. So it's not the independence that gave Nkrumah that idea to say Black Star. And people always say the first country south of the Sahara to be independent. And that's why people have started contesting that. It's not true. But that Black Star, this is the history I'm telling you. And go and do your research. You will get it there. Now, I'm a chartered historian. So, brothers and sisters, as I said, it's always a joy to have you. And I want to add my voice to what was said earlier on. We enjoy music when we are doing these things as footballers. We want excitement. We want to have some pleasure to bring us in. So next time you are organizing such an event again, please, I don't want it to look like a sermon in a church. That's a different thing altogether. In the church, the sermon is to let you focus more on your spiritual than your physical. But for this game that we are in, it's more of the flesh than the spirit. And so please, organizers, let's work together and make it more enjoyable and memorable. With this, I thank all of you for coming, and I will rely on your support to let this message reach out to all Ghanaians, and we'll invite all of them to always join us in the activities at the national level, and as we go to the constituencies, we need everybody to come on board. With this, once again, I thank you all for your patience and for your support.
I think we can give ourselves a big round. So I forgot to add, ladies and gentlemen, that this year, Mr. Speaker, your ladies in parliamentary service list, as we speak, they have been warming up at the Osusa Park. That's where they're having their training. So.
That's good.
And the men's coach is also right here.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. My coach. When I was in the parliamentary football team, yes, he was our coach.
Yes. Thank you. So
yeah. We used to play at the Accra Sports Stadium, and then when I was student in Legon, I used to come and sell tickets there. And I used to organize students from Legon to come and sell the tickets and watch football. So it's not today.
much. So like I said, this man here led the parliament side to beat the Black Stars side. 3-1, it was 3-1.
3-1, yes.
This year, how many?
Hey, if they are bringing Gibraltar and Co, how can we pass him? Huh? Have you visited the Rock of Gibraltar? Oh, in the real Rock of Gibraltar. Huh? I'll sponsor you there. You go and see it. It's in the country called Gibraltar.
Gibraltar.
Yes.
Yes.
The rock is there.
Is it?
I've been there myself. I've entered it, and very good. I'll sponsor you to go there.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the...
That's you, and then 2 others. 3, I can sponsor you to go to.
Wow.
The Rock of Gibraltar is called the very Reverend Joseph Grandmaster.
Okay.
And it's called the Pillar of Hillways.
Yes.
It's cut between Spain and Morocco.
Yes.
So he's the one that introduced our name.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Actually, when you go there, you can see from the rock, you can see Morocco. Yes, and when you are at Morocco and the weather is not too cloudy, you can see Spain. And there is no physical border between Spain and Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a very small, tiny country. I've been there, it's part of Commonwealth. And we're there. So I visited the rock and went inside, where most of the saints and the saints used to go and pray. In fact, when you are landing, you are afraid because the tarmac is on the sea and it's very short. Just immediately you pass the rock, because the rock is very high, then the tarmac is there. So you must be a good pilot to be able to negotiate it and land on the water there, and it's a beauty. And so I'm prepared to sponsor you. Anytime you are ready, come around.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I'm told that Senior Camilo is looking for a rock to name after himself. We will now take the traditional photograph now. Henry, can we do the photograph?
Yes.
So we'll start with the Right Honorable Speaker
And the legends.
And the legends, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.